Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Truth Podcast. My name is Nick Robinson. I'm the host of the show, and today we've got another interview coming up here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this little show. Today I wanted to get back on a previous guest of mine, my good friend Anthony Arroyo. What is going on, brother? What's going on?
Man, just living life, bro.
You already know. Shoot, man. Let's get back into the gist of things. But who is Anthony Arroyo today? How old are you? Kind of give the people that don't know you, if they haven't seen the previous podcast, just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. My name is Anthony Arroyo from Des Moines. People mostly know me now as a photographer. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been into. I go to DMAC, finishing up this year with that. And, yeah, that's a little gist.
Doing the thing?
Yeah.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. Talk about, let's just dive into some stuff. Like, what's been new since the last time you got on the podcast and since we spoke? We haven't really spoke much. Since
no, we haven't.
It's been like a minute, but we talk like every now and again in like the group chat and stuff.
God.
But
Our group
other
chat.
than that, yeah. What's been going on, though?
Shoot. When did we talk exactly? Was it like October-ish? November?
I think it was like November 1st, I want to say.
Okay.
So it's not been like super long.
So
it's been a little bit, but
been a little bit.
Not too bad.
So since then, last semester went well. Passed with all A's. Did
stuff,
cool.
Good stuff.
Went to LA. Went to San Diego. Also went down to San Antonio, Texas. Did that little drive.
Yeah.
After going back into the spring semester, just trying to pick up back on school.
Yeah.
That motivation, trying to get through all that.
Yeah.
Doing some shoots. People hit me up, trying to get paid. Doing some fun stuff with shoots. Trying to expand my creativity. Also, we could have talked about it the last podcast, but it was just starting. Iowa Portraits.
Okay.
Instagram page I started.
Yeah.
Now we're over. I said this Monday I'd make an announcement. I still haven't done it on the story.
Word.
But I guess you'll hear it. I'm here. But basically, the announcement's going to be like, I'm wanting by at least like June. I'm going to aim for like the middle of June to have a physical magazine out.
Word.
And there'll be more details to come with all that.
Word.
And by then, in the next month, I want to I'll say next 2 months, have a full website out with just the domain, just iowaportraits.com. That's the goal right now with that.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That's so I really like that you're just kind of expanding as a creative.
Yeah.
Because last time we talked, I feel like you were just mainly into photography. You haven't really done like much with the video side of stuff in a long time. I feel like
I made a little video.
Made a little vlog not too long ago though. But I think that it's really dope that you're getting into and trying to diversify yourself. As a creative and just as a businessman, I would say. 'Cause that's like the biggest thing about being a creative is you have to have like this business mindset as well, because like otherwise people aren't going to take you seriously, especially if you're trying to make money off of shoots and like you were saying, like the magazine and like everything else. So I think that that's really good though, that you have that mindset and you're just instilled in you and you're trying to hustle, and that's really dope, bro. That's really dope. So like getting into that, into a couple of things that you were talking about, how was the trip to LA a few months ago? You went like early or like
it
late
was right after
November,
Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving. How was that for you, brother?
So
what did you do?
Yeah, so I was in Chicago right before for Thanksgiving with some family, and it was funny because a huge snowstorm came through. And it was the first snow that like anyone's gotten. Yeah. And it sucked. The hotel I was at, the water pipe broke, so we didn't have water for the night. I couldn't take a shower. Couldn't do nothing. Bro. But then a couple days went to LA after. LA, oh man, every time I go to LA now, I'm just like, it sucks.
You think it sucks?
Dude, I got sick.
Bro.
I got food poisoning.
What'd you eat, bro?
Bro, listen, I ate 2 things when I was there. I went to KFC because it was down the street from my Airbnb.
Okay.
And then I had Subway at Cal State Long Beach.
What part of the city were you in?
So obviously I was in Long Beach, and then I was on the East Los Angeles.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Damn. Is the food like that bad? Why'd
was
why'd
cool.
you eat it like Subway and KFC though?
Bro, because it was just quick. It was just quick.
True,
like
quick.
I just needed.
Yeah.
I had to schedule to try to keep on, and traffic wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let me tell you about this. My Lyft, bro, I was going 10 miles. Like, that's how long the distance was. It took me an hour and a half.
Bro, it's really bad, especially like you went right after Thanksgiving, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I bet that holiday traffic is fucking nuts.
And it was crazy because since I was in the car a long time and I was taking a little nap and stuff, but also, you know, like there was a wildfires.
Yeah.
Bro, you could really smell it. Like it was really bad.
Shoot, so you were out there like when that was
happening. When that was going on.
I forgot about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it crazy people just forget about that? Even though it was like the most historic probably.
Bro, it just happens like so much in California.
I know, but like if you see it, you're just like, whoa.
Bro, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it was bad
That's
though.
nuts. So that's probably why the traffic was even worse, don't you think?
And it was raining.
Yeah.
And you know people in LA,
bro,
they're like always.
It's like a snowstorm for them. We were there and like it rained like once, but it was like overnight, so we weren't like driving around and shit.
Nah, bro, it rained.
Oh my God, bro.
So
what were you out there for though?
To visit colleges.
Gotcha.
So I visited Cal State Long Beach.
Yep.
And I was only in LA for the day and a half.
And
then I went down to San Diego. I took what are they called? Like the
train?
groundhog.
Okay.
Groundhound or something like that.
Greyhound?
Greyhound. That
yep.
bus. Cost me like $14 to get from LA to San Diego.
Good shit.
And I was like, bet. You know how to saving money.
Yeah.
But in San Diego, man, I think I just love San Diego. It's way more calm. That's the thing with San Diego.
That's where I wanted to go to school at, bro. That was San Diego's a dope town.
It is.
In general. It's kind of like, it reminds me a lot of Des Moines, but like a beach town, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's like very low key.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like it's like super fucking like just. I don't feel like there's a ton of people.
I don't feel like it's such a rush.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Because LA's a rush, bro.
Yeah, but it's like LA's a dope city, bro.
It is.
It is a dope city, and there's so much stuff happening.
I know.
But the only thing that sucks is the traffic.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. We were just out there, like, as you know, and like people would know that on the podcast. I just went out to LA, but this podcast won't be going live for a little bit. But when we were out there, it was like, you know, it was like 50 degrees or so.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
it was
too bad.
Low-key chilly though.
Yeah, it's like for them, they were like wearing like
cold.
Coats, like Canada Goose jacket looking shit. So I'm like, bro, this is like low key warm for us.
Sweater,
like it was kind of like
weather.
fall weather.
That's
for
the
us,
sweater, shorts
say.
weather, bro.
Yeah, it was nice though, but you know that town, man, it's interesting.
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of people there, they're very accepting of like your hustle, I would say, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if like you take yourself seriously, then they're gonna be like, okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
I feel like in Des Moines, it depends on the person and the group of people, because I feel like there's a lot of people that, you know, can talk a lot of shit about what they're doing and everything, and it's like, you know, that's cool, but I'm gonna do me over here and keep doing my thing. If you're gonna talk shit about me, that's cool, but you know.
Just be about action.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is like, you know, just talk my shit after I've done it, you know, instead of like, you know, saying like, oh, I'm doing this right now. Currently, it hasn't happened yet, but you know, other than like me posting about like my podcast and shit, but that's just like, you know, trying to build the hype or whatever. But you know, it just kind of depends. But you know, I think that you have to. It's good for people to talk about their moves after they've made them. If that kind of makes sense. But getting back into it though, like, have you decided on a college out there or what?
Nah. So I went to San Diego. I went to San Diego State. Like, both colleges are great. They're way better looking.
Yeah. Oh God.
It'd just be a place
it's
to
just
be.
That money, bro.
The money.
That money is.
Well, Cal State Long Beach isn't that expensive, but to live anywhere.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Expensive as shit.
But the same thing here. If I were to go to college in Iowa, like I'm only gonna go to Drake if I stay here. And that's still gonna be like $20K.
Yeah.
Even with the scholarships, it's $20K.
That's crazy. Why don't you go to like Iowa State or something? It's just not you.
I don't think the value is there for me.
Okay.
I don't know.
What are you studying?
Right now, at just DMAC, I'm at liberal arts, just doing that.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Let's talk about that, actually. So I went to Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Drake University, to be specific for you people.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a visit like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. You know, they gave us, it's digital media production.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I think I want to do. And we're going through all of it. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's dope. Like, this would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is this 20,000 worth? Like,
yeah.
That was what was bugging me. So this last week, I was like, hey, there's a professor there named Chris Snyder. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I just want to hang out and be like, ask you serious questions. And you're going to give me serious. Because I've known him since high school. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, cool, let's have lunch. And the lunch lasted like 2 hours. That's a long lunch. So he was just like, here, we're going to be able to teach you these things and give you these skills.
Okay.
But since you're more of a photographer, we're not going to really be able to help you grow more into that. Like, that's going to be just on you. But with videography, audio, podcast, all that other stuff, we'll be able to help. We have those tools.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I understand all that. And then I talk about Iowa portraits and what I'm trying to do with that. And he was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah. And later in our conversations, he was like, you know, Anthony, with your skill set now, it's like you already have such an in-depth skill set or skill, whatever, in your skills, that it might be even better for you just going to business and learn all that. Yeah. Since you're more of like I think it's weird when people call me an entrepreneur because I really don't see myself that way.
Why don't you feel like that?
I don't know.
I feel like entrepreneur is like that very... It's that weird term, you know?
I would hate to call myself that because then I feel like I have this perception to like be, because when you think of entrepreneur, you think of guys in suits, you think of guys building.
Like, you gotta think though, like anybody can be an entrepreneur. You know, they can dress however you want. You know, but I don't know. It's like, it's a weird term, and I get what you're saying because I think
it's just a name. Like I'm cool if that's attached to it, but I don't want to like
only limit yourself to that. You feel like?
Yeah, and I don't want to limit myself to a photographer. Like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing later.
I think that labels, bro. That's something that I feel like I'm trying to eliminate is like labels
I'm just me.
in general.
Like I'm just me, and I do different things. Like when I said earlier, people know me as a photographer. Like, sure, I do photography and all, but like, I think there's just so much more. Yeah.
I think that, you know, something that I've been trying to do in like the past couple of years is, you know, just trying to diversify myself as much as possible and not falling into a label. So like, you know, I've been dabbling into, you know, photography, video work, podcasting now, and designing clothes and like, you know, selling clothes and like doing all of these things together. You know, it's I don't feel like anybody really labels me to a certain genre, you know. I just like call myself an artist, you know, because it's like I want to do it all, you know. I don't want to be limited to that. And I think that, you know, something that you may struggle with is like you've kind of gotten your name out there being a photographer, you know. So I don't know if that's something that you feel like.
And I mean, even before that in high school, people were just like, "Oh, you play football."
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a tough thing, the labels thing. It's because like once people get that image of you and they like see what your thing is in a sense, you know.
And then it's like weird when you do other things because they're like, "Oh, you do more." Like, like when I think of like people who do like, for example, like let's say like Movement 515. Like I think of most of those people, like you're a poet. And then I see you do something, I'm like, oh shoot, you do that? Like I know. Like I just think it's sad. Like I just think people should just be like, oh, you do these cool things.
Do the thing, bro, you know? I think that I don't know if that's ever even gonna change though. Because like, you know, especially like the high school mentality, like everybody's like, you know, it's that clicky shit. So like, you know, you kind of fall into this group or this label, and then, you know, that's kind of who you are. And it's like right after your name, it's like, oh, the guy that does football or that guy that does this, that, or the third, you know. So it's like that's kind of tough to kind of kick that in the shorts. But, you know, I want people to know me as me, Nick Robinson, you know, and just, you know, I want to be able to do it all. So, you know, I think that it's good for you to kind of get out there and to just let people know that you're here and my name's Anthony Arroyo and I'm ready to do some shit. You know? So that's like, I think that it's good for you to take that step though, you know, and like, I think that if anybody comes up to you and they say like, oh, you're Anthony the photographer, you know, it's like, well, no, I'm just Anthony Arroyo.
I'm just like I think it sucks when people limit you.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, and I don't know if it's ever going to change, but
yeah,
hopefully it will, because, you know, the way that society's set up right now, though, is it's kind of tough to kick those things. But, you know, I don't feel like that's limiting you, though, as, like, being labeled a photographer. But, you know, it does kind of you have to, like, be put in this box, especially if you're trying to, like, build like the Iowa Ports page and stuff like you're doing right now, and just are you trying to like build a business out of that? Is that kind of what you're trying to do?
So let me go back on that,
because you were talking about like building a website and magazine and all that. But
so what I would want to do is give to the people. I don't know why so many people look at the page. Like it gets like 1,000 views a week, and I'm just trying to figure out like who are these people looking, why are they here, and what could I possibly do for them? Because, like, let's say like 50% of them are, like, photographers. Like, let's say I can build this page. I can possibly make somehow this huge, like, group of people be on this page. And maybe, like, you know what Slack is?
Slack.
Okay, imagine Slack as a way better GroupMe.
Okay.
Where there's different channels. Like, let's say, I'll show you after.
Yep. I kind of get what you're saying, though, like different like chats of like different kind of groups of people. Like if you're into like videos more so. You can
I'm talking about video. Or you, like, let's say we're just talking about, hey, you just posted. Instead of, because, you know, Instagram, the DM groups, you can get caught up. On this, it's not Instagram, so you can just post your stuff. The community can see it all in this one channel. You can go, you know, get your community support, or we're talking about we want feedback on our edits, or let's say you took a dope photo and you're like, I want to see how other people would edit. You can be like, yo, here's my raw file, download it, edit it, and post it back. I want to see what you guys do. Like all this different stuff that I'm thinking of, and it's just gonna be hard to like talk about all of it at once because like my mind's everywhere. But what I think would be cool is if. So again, let's go back. 50% of people, let's say, are looking at the page are photographers. Let's say I can get those 50% of people on a website page and in this like this group, in this community, and build them profiles to where it shows off a little bit of their portfolio, their contact information, social media sites, and all that. And I charge them, let's say, a yearly fee to have this profile on this page. And now let's say the other 50% of people are looking at this page are just regular people, businesses, or just people just like, oh, they came across the page. Let's say for regular people who are just like, oh, I love looking at photos. Let me just scroll, see these other people. Let's say they go to this website, and one day they're a senior. They need senior photos. Go onto this page, you look, you see all these other photographers. And you're like, oh, they have, and let's say we break it down from like experience, price, and you're like, okay, I want to pay this much. This is the experience I'm going to get from these people. Now I have all these people to choose from. So that's what I'm looking from that. Or like, let's say wedding, or baby pics, or all these other things. And
it's
then,
almost like a photographer like shopping site in a sense, you know. That's really dope.
And then from businesses, think of it the same way. Like, hey, I need headshots of all my employees on my website. You're gonna look for price points, experience. You can go to the website and just find your photographer, contact them, go to the social media, look, and then that's where I'm trying to get at, because then you're buying into this. Where an annual whatever fee, I don't know, I haven't thought about all of this. And I hate like saying this all right now because like you just said, it's before anything is done. So I don't want to like let myself down or let other people down on what. So now I'm setting myself for expectations before I take action. But like I need to talk about it. So.
Well, I think that it's a good idea though, you know, and I think that, you know, I'm a firm believer if like you put it out there in the universe, it's going to come to fruition, it's going to come to light. So, you know, I think that that's huge that you're taking the step to like letting people know, and then you're going to execute it. Because like this podcast won't go live for a little bit. So by then you'll probably
like,
have it all
hope.
done, you know. So, you know, I think that it's good for you to push yourself as a just a businessman in general, you know.
And this is, again, I just had a conversation with someone before this, and we're just talking about it. I'm like, dang, this is dope. Like, we're figuring out different ways how we do. And another way, like, so like I said, you buy into this community and you get a profile, whatever. Then let's say I'm talking to sponsors. Like, listen, we're talking to Canon. We're talking to GoPro. We're talking to Manfrotto, like tripods. We're talking to Low Pro camera bags. And I'm like, hey, I have a community of 500 photographers in Iowa. These are potential customers for you. Can we possibly get a % off your product? So then there you go again. I'm trying to just bring value to the people who buy into this. And I'm making connections from potential customers for them, and then also potential customers for other businesses to where it brings value to them too, because they're saving money on gear. So,
and I think that that's like a really good idea, and I hope that, you know, I know that you've been doing a lot of like journaling and stuff. I see you doing it a lot and everything, but you know, I would say to you, from my perspective, is just write it all down, you know, and just kind of you know, take some time and just sit back and think back to like what you want it to be. And I think that you have a core idea to it, and I think that you can keep adding these ideas whenever they come up, because I think that, you know, you've kind of made it, from what you were talking about, it was kind of like the specific niche of like photography. And, you know, I think that it could grow into something more as well, you know, and not limited to like the Iowa ports thing.
And let me even touch on that. So we're talking about just photographers. Then maybe let's open it up to painters, drawers. Let's open it up to fashion designers. It can just go so. But right now I'm just focused on like, because this probably the way, like in most general businesses go, this will probably fail. But the thing is, I will do this, I will learn, and I will continue. Like, it's not the end. So I don't know, right now I'm just trying to get this going and see what happens. Because I mean, like 4 months ago I wasn't thinking like, oh man, this already has 500 followers and 1,000 views a week. So
but I think that, you know, with the business thing that you were talking about, you know, turning it into something, and if it fails, it fails, you learn something, you know. I think that that's the biggest thing that you learn from failure, is you literally just learn so much stuff from just trying it and doing trial and error, and if it blows up, it blows up, you know. And I think that you have a really good idea, and I think that it's something that's completely foreign to Iowa, and you know that this idea, it could turn into something very big, because you know it's probably all over these other cities, but it's not here. So, you know, you're bringing something that nobody has done to Iowa, I feel like, at least that I'm aware of, you know. I don't know of like another Iowa portraits page or anything like that, or like this idea that you're trying to bring to the surface. And
the only people that have done something even close, like setting up a page on Instagram, is like Capture Iowa, Highlight Iowa, but they've stopped at that. And the way they try to get revenue is they sell merch, and that's so limited. I mean, nothing against merch, but like that's so limiting.
Because like not everybody's gonna want
like who knows? Iowa Capture. Exactly. And another thing with those, like, when I think about those pages, they have so many, they have a big, like 15,000, 20,000. And like, that's just it though. Like, it's just the Instagram page, maybe like a little website with merch. But the thing about it, the only thing they bring to, like, let's say all the people that like tag them in posts or do their hashtag, the only thing they give back to those people are the potential of being exposed to that big following. Like, that's it. Instead of like like instead of like customers or potential shoots.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that is beautiful about your idea, is because like, you know, you're not in it for just yourself making money. You're in it for like everybody in this community to possibly make some money, you know. And I think that you have a really great idea, and I think that, you know, right now for you it's go time to just get it done, you know, and to just sit down for a week or whatever the time frame might be for you, and just get all the logistics planned out and just try it, you know. That's what I've learned with the podcast, is like, you know, I had the idea back in probably January of last year, and, you know, we're in February of 2019 now, and like, you know, I started that podcast in October of 2018, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to do this shit. Yeah. You know, from January to October, I was worried about, like, how the fuck am I going to do this? How do I run a podcast? Like, how do I do this, that, and the third? But it's like, you know, I was currently doing YouTube videos at the time. You know, I was figuring it all out and learning how to edit and everything else. So it was like I had the core of what I was doing on the video side of things. So, you know, when it came to making a podcast, it was just like, wait, I'm already recording myself talking. All I have to do is basically just make it into a podcast, maybe invite on a couple of my friends, you know, and that's it. And then I just had to record it and then edit it, and then I'm putting it up on YouTube, and that's it. I did that for 15 weeks until it actually got onto a streaming service or whatever, you know. So it was like, I think that the biggest thing that I've learned, though, is just don't be afraid to start, and that's the hardest part, is just to start it, you know. And
patience. Like, you think 4 months ago, I was like, I hope this grows, or da-da-da. Like, I'm only getting 20 likes a photo. Yeah. Like, I just posted, didn't look at it. Like, the only reason I'm looking at the account is to look at the photos I'm tagged in or the hashtag used. Even now, that's how it is. Like, I barely get onto the thing unless it's from, like, the times I'm posting onto the story or onto the actual feed. And I think that's, to talk about other people trying to do things, like, they're just, first of all, it's hard enough just to start, but then to just be able to be patient and actually be on track and keep going and keep going. What's the word I'm looking for? You're consistent with it.
Consistency, I think, is key, especially in our day and age.
And being consistent for such a long time without expectations. Like, I didn't really have a huge expectation for this, but the way it's going, like, I'm gaining like 20 followers a week. So,
well, and then are you posting like every day on there?
I try to post. This weekend I didn't do well. Gotcha. I was just doing other things. But for the most part, it's every day.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't too sure like how like your vision behind it. Like for the podcast, I got to do like every Monday, as you know. But you know, like, I think that if you put that out there for people to know, especially like when you make a website and everything, you know, just letting people know that I post on here this day, you know, so that they can expect something, you know. It's like putting that mental schedule into other people's brains. I think that's the biggest thing, especially about business, you know, and like just letting people know when you're going to be doing this, that, or the third, and what they can expect from it, you know. And I think that you've got a really good idea and you've got a really good core already, because the Iowa Ports page has what, like 600, 700 followers now?
Nah, only like 520, maybe 550 now. I don't know. I haven't
but
checked.
Still, like, you're probably averaging like close to like what, 80 likes a post,
something like that.
So it's like, you know, that's a core group right there of people that, you know, really are bought into this idea of what the Iowa Ports page is and what it could be eventually in the future, you know. And I think that that's something that's really good for those feature pages, you know. It's like you're giving back to the community already, but you're wanting to take a next step and build it into something that could be bigger than just an Instagram
page, you know?
So I think that you have a really good idea, and I hope to see it come to fruition. And if you need some help, brother, I'm all there for you.
Anybody watching this, if you know anything about website design, or just if you think you can help me in any way, just, you know where to hit me up, probably.
We'll talk after this too. I don't want to like give away a bunch of little nuggets for you to use specifically, but we'll talk about it after the podcast. But getting into some other questions here for you, though, talk about like your progression as a photographer and now, just trying to get into other things. What do you feel like that is for you?
Well, with photography right now, I feel like I'm in a little slump.
Okay. Why do you feel like that?
I just feel like I hit a really like a good high for a second, especially like I don't know if you saw the photo of Cassie, the one where the girl's floating.
Yeah.
Like that one got a lot of attention, and then this other one where I thought it was just so crisp, her face.
Yeah. Well, and you've been like trying to get other jobs and stuff, haven't you? Like I saw that like 368 one that you were trying.
Oh
to
yeah,
do, like,
I was trying.
Yeah, and then are you like trying to reach out to other places and stuff too, or what?
Actually, to talk about that, since like I always talk about like I really don't want to live in Iowa.
Yeah.
Like I just want to get out for a little bit. I actually, LinkedIn. I just be on LinkedIn, just scrolling, searching, connecting.
Good spot, man. That's a good spot.
And I was like, oh shoot, Airbnb's looking for freelance photographers. And I was like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's really easy too.
And you just sleep there.
Yeah.
You just like, you're probably in a dope city. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, just trying the waters. Testing the waters. That's dope, bro. Because that business especially, there's like a book, I think, that it's like the story of Airbnb. But I think you should read it.
I'll have to check that out.
You would, when we were out in LA, Justin Escalona was talking about it, and he dropped like this fucking crazy ass nugget. I think I have it in my notes actually. Let me pull it up real quick. But he said like something about it's like this 80% rule, and I just thought that you would be able to fucking like take some good shit from it. But it was like something along the lines of here it is. 80% rule, like basically what it is if you have an idea of something and you believe that it's 80% good or 80% there, that you need to put it out now, because if 80% of the population can believe that it's good, instead of you like making it 100% like foolproof idea, that takes away too much time trying to make it absolutely perfect. But if you put it out with it being 80% finished, that's good enough, and I think that was like, when I heard that, I was like, holy shit.
Damn.
Like, I'm not quoting it word for word, but that idea, it was like, holy shit. Like, it's that idea, coming back to it, it's like, that idea of you just have to put it out there. If it's more than halfway there, people are going to think it's good, and regardless of if people don't think it's good, there's always going to be people that don't believe in what you're trying to do, regardless if you think that it's 100% there or whatever it is. But, if you have that 80% done, then it's good enough, So I think that can be translated into a lot of different businesses or just in life in general, just don't be afraid of something if it's not absolutely perfect, because nothing is, So I think that's something that I think a lot of people could take away something from that, though. And I think that was in the Airbnb book. So if you want to check that out,
I'll have to definitely check that out.
Because that was crazy to just hear about something like that. So, but getting back into like the progression though, as a photographer, you feel like you're trying to like do the stuff with the Airbnb, but is there anything else that you're trying to do, you feel like?
I mean, it just
like, are you trying to like, because you're pursuing like basically like multimedia production type stuff, like that's kind of all the stuff
like
that you've
everything.
Always been into, like since high school, especially because you were doing like internships over the summer and everything else. So is there like a goal for you with that? Do you feel like you don't want to be limited to it as a photographer? I feel like
and I won't be limited to a photographer ever, but if photography is gonna be like my thing for a long time, I don't want to be doing stuff around just local here. Like the goal would definitely be to work with big brands, to do like amazing budget shoots where I have to actually like sit down, probably do like actually like plan things out. Like, that'd be the goal with that. And I mean, that'd be down the road. That's years to come. And
but I wouldn't even say that though, because your whole life could change tomorrow too,
you're right.
You know what I mean? So but I feel like if you set the the groundwork in, things will go the way that they need to go. But, you know, I think that, are you into like writing and like all that stuff too? Is that kind of like something that you're strong into, or what do you feel like? Because I feel like that's like a huge piece
writing
of like media production too as well, you know, like the online newspapers and newspapers in general and all that.
Writing newspapers is not my thing. I mean, maybe opinion stuff, but I don't want to like cover.
But like articles and stuff, like and like you were doing the blog stuff before.
Yeah.
I've been doing that pretty frequently now, so like that's something that I'm trying to get into too.
With writing, it's more of like a for me type thing, and I mean, I wouldn't be against putting it out there.
Yeah.
It's just right now I think it's good when you like put things out into something at least, even if it's a blog or just my journal, because
it's that getting those ideas like out of your head. It's crazy how much like writing it out or like putting it on the paper, it like kind of rejuvenates your soul in a sense. And I would say I don't know, it's weird.
I think it's weird, like when we say it we understand it, but other people who are like I would just like, they just don't get it. And I understand that. I was like that for a long time, but like it really does change the way you like actually do stuff. Like me, every morning I write out my day. Like
absolutely.
Doesn't like those are the goals. This is my schedule. And it's way more like I don't forget or like just now like maybe I was a little late, but now things cleared up, so I'm not so worried.
Absolutely.
And it's just it's so good.
And I think that that's something that's very important. I think that I do like the writing out stuff like of what my day was like previous. So like say if like something really bad happens in the day, I'm like, fuck, like this sucked, but you know, I'm gonna write it out and I'm just gonna forget about it. And like once it's basically like I've ranted in a sense,
instead
of,
and
especially for journaling, I think that that's something that's really good. But you know, I think that that's something that a lot of people should do, is just, you know, take the time to just write out stuff. And I think that you've taken it a step further and you are really good at scheduling like your time, like making like all the 24 hours that you have in a day like worth it. So like, you know, when you hit me up saying like you want to get on the podcast again, I was like, dope, bro, like what day works for you? You said I have these 2 days open. So like that's like huge though, you know. Like a lot of people, they're just like, you know, whenever, bro. Like, and I'm just like, that's cool, but like now I have to like
pick a day,
you know. And I'm like, I'm the least scheduled person out there, but like recently I've been getting into like writing out all my podcasts on my calendar app, because like otherwise I'll just go back onto Twitter and like look at my DMs and I'm like, oh fuck, I have a podcast this day, and I'm like, shit. So, you know, I think that that's something that I need to do more of, is, you know, just planning out stuff. But I think that that's good that you're already doing that.
You should just get a big, because in my room I have this big calendar. You sent me a
picture of it. That's something that I think that,
and I just write down like the major things and like what money I need that's supposed to be coming in, and like probably should write that down in a smaller place to actually budget, but I don't.
Well, and I've been doing like I have a marker board at my apartment up in Iowa City. I haven't gotten it brought back home yet, but I used to do a lot of that in high school, but I've like steered away from it. But I write out like the daily goals of like what I want to accomplish each and every day. So like that mainly consists of like, you know, making a couple of bucks. Like I try to like make like $10 a day. That's kind of like my thing, is just like making $10 a day. It doesn't matter how you fucking do it, make $10 a day, Depop. You know, because then that translates to, you know, like $3,600 or something a year or something like that, close to that. So, you know, it's like, if you do that, that's Depop, bro. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, just like figure out a way to kind of make $10 a day. So, you know, I sell plasma a lot, you know, just try to.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah,
Bro, I'm too scared of the needle.
Bro, it's not bad, bro. It's not bad. No. And you're saving lives too, you know.
Yeah, sure.
It's interesting.
But that's my blood, like, coming out. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not for everybody, but you know, I'm not. I was like deathly afraid of needles. Like, shout out to my mom. If you're watching this podcast, she would be able to vouch for me. But she took me to the doctor when I was a kid, probably like 6 or 7. So like I had gotten like the kindergarten shots like a year before. So I was like, fuck, that sucked. So when I went back, they were asking like to prick my finger, and I was like, fuck no. And I was like screaming bloody murder. I was like, no. They had to like hold me down. I was like, no, it's not happening. But now I like literally go in there and I prick my finger and I get a needle stuck into me for like an hour. Sounds terrifying to a lot of people that are deathly afraid of needles, but I was just like that, so don't feel like it saves some lives. That's all that I'm saying. You know, just try it out. But
when you talk about pricking the finger, so I went to like, what's it called, the place you go to?
BioLife.
Yeah. So I went to BioLife.
Yep.
It was over a year ago now.
Yep.
I went there. They pricked my finger, and I was like, that shit low-key hurt.
Bro, pricking your finger I think hurts more than the needle does.
Oh, and I was like, damn, this shit, it hurts still. And it's been like, while I was there, I was like, fuck this, I can't do this. Yeah. So they like take me to a room to ask me questions like, have you felt sick lately? Da-da-da. So I just lied. I was like, yeah, I feel sick. They're like, oh, you just come back another day, then we feel better. And I was like, I'm never coming back.
Damn.
Because I just like, this ain't worth it. I don't care.
That's kind of fucked, but you know, it's not.
I'm just
that
a wuss.
bad.
I'm just a
It's not that bad.
It's just me.
And like you can
go
make
do it.
like
you make good
$70
side
bucks
money
a week. Like you know, that is like $280 a month. But then they have like extra promotions if you get there like 8 months.
Especially when you're first starting.
Yeah. And
they have
it's
good
like
promotions.
if you do like 8 times in a month or something like that, they give you like an extra 70 sometimes.
Bro,
extra
that's
50.
insane.
It just kind of depends, but yeah, it's good stuff, bro. And I think that it's a good way to make like a little bit of side money too.
Yeah.
But you know, forgot what we were fucking talking about.
Talking about side money real quick.
Side money.
Yo, I can't remember her name's Izzy, I think. She went to your school.
Izzy Craw, bro. She's like
famous on Depop.
Bro, yeah, I was talking to her. I'm gonna get her on the podcast. Actually,
you need to get her on
Izzy,
for real.
Hearing this,
she probably has hella good little golden nuggets for Depop.
Oh yeah, she was talking about it. She said that she's made like couple of racks off that.
She's sold over like 400 items. And just imagine like just $10 an item.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get into like the specific amount that she's made, but she's making
money.
Yeah, because she was like a featured seller on there.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, she's got like 7,000 followers on there.
Yeah, bro.
That girl's had some success, bro.
That's crazy. I'd be bragging.
When we were kids too, she had like 12,000 followers on Instagram or something. I don't know why, but she did. Yeah, it was weird.
What the heck? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I be seeing her stuff on Snapchat.
She's had some clout, obviously, for her entire life, but that's cool. And now she's like made a business into it, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's planning on, building it into
She's into it because I see on Snapchat, bro. She's just in there, just always doing it, shipping, taking photos.
And she's like building it into like getting a lot of people for modeling for her and everything else. So I think that
Yeah, I suck at that. I don't want to do that. Like I just like taking a photo of the thing.
Yeah.
But like they even suggest that Depop does that you have someone wear it. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, nah, bro.
Yeah, I just like. That's too much work,
But
that's the biggest thing though for Depop is like you have to sit down and actually like take pictures of all the items that you have. But I've had some pretty good sales on there. Like I've probably sold like 20 items or so.
Yeah, I only sold like 4.
Yeah,
but like I just put it up like a month ago.
Yeah, so it's like there's people constantly on that shit, And then if you take like that eBay and like Poshmark, like a bunch of other sites and shit,
you can make a living off that.
Some shit. Yeah.
Seriously, like you don't have to have a job.
There's a lot of people that fund stuff by just reselling or flipping stuff. Especially like Facebook Marketplace and stuff. Like I was watching this YouTuber and he said that he made like $1,200 in a month off of reselling stuff. I believe that. Yeah. Because like all he did was like he would scour Facebook Marketplace. He found like a Canon lens for like $100 and sold it for like $800. So yeah, it's like
he must know.
Yeah, he knows what that's the thing though, is you have to know what you're looking for and you have to know your stuff. But there's deals out there for people to make money off of stuff, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned too is like if you're working for a place, I don't think you're supposed to legally do this, but like say if like you worked for like a company like Nike or something and like you have like a 20% off sale, you can buy stuff and then low key you could sell it to your friends or whatever. You're not supposed to do that, would do that, but that's a good way to make a little bit extra money though, because like if you can save 20%, that's 20% that you don't have to pay for, and that's the 20% that you could be taking out of that cut. So, you know, there's people that do that all the time. So, you know, I think that it's possible to do it. People just have to figure it out. You know, that's the biggest thing about money, is you have to learn how to hustle. But, and I think you're definitely familiar with that, and that's like what I was talking about, like just being an entrepreneur is like figuring out a way to make money. You know, that's literally what an entrepreneur is. If you don't physically have to go to a 9-to-5 job every day, you're an entrepreneur.
Or just have your weekends taken away from you. Yeah. But that's funny. On Facebook Marketplace, I just sold like my last few lenses that that were old or that weren't stolen. Yeah.
Bro, that shit was ass. Did you find your camera?
Nah.
Damn, that's fucked up, bro.
But now I have a setup that I like now. Damn. Just 3 prime lenses.
Yeah.
A wide angle, and that's it.
Well, and you got like a little insurance claim on it, didn't you, or something like that?
Actually, that fell through.
Really?
So we're supposed to go. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
That's fucked up, bro. Yeah, we don't gotta get into all that, but damn, bro, that's fucked up. Fuck that dude that stole Anthony's camera, bro.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Man, let's get into some of the other questions I got for you here, though, brother. I've kind of been talking about how Iowa Ports has been going for you, the whole podcast, but is there, like, anything else that you want to touch in on that? Like, how do you feel like it's gone for you in general?
I think people underestimate how hard it is to do a feature page. Yeah. It takes a lot of time, actually.
Well, because you have to, like, go to the hashtags that people, like, because that's how you do, like, the submissions, right?
For some people just tag, and it's honestly, it's easy both ways. It's not really difficult doing that, but then it's like, you know, you have to, like, tag, like, actually write it out, tag them in the post, and then, you know, I just copy and paste the same, like, Iowa portraits, features, blah, blah, and then all the hashtags. Yeah. And then just doing all the stories. I mean, like, when you do the stories, that's what brings people in, I think, more to the page, because especially when you do it, like, every hour-ish, because it goes back to the front. Yeah. Makes sense. And then a lot of people DM me.
Yeah, what are they
just random stuff, like, you know how, like, the slidey thing, how you slide and the photo keeps going? Yeah. Kind of a couple people asked me how to do that, and I was like, here's just a YouTube video. Yeah. You can figure it out. It's not hard. Wow. And, like, other people they'll send me photos on DM. I'm like, don't do that. Like, just post it and tag me. Yeah. Like, and then if I like it, I'll post you, and that's it. Yeah. And then I talked to this, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants to put it out there. I talked to this one guy. He has a big following. He's from Iowa. Okay. Probably has, like, 30K. Word. Yeah. He does more, like, nature, like, travel stuff.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And he was like, yo, I'm trying to do this, like, workshop because, like, there's another feature page out there called No Coast Collective. Yep. And he's a part of that.
Don't you kind of, like, do stuff with them? They repost your stuff, though, sometimes, don't they?
I don't think they have.
I can't remember if that was...
Maybe you're talking about Wayfair Collective.
Yeah, that's what
That's a much bigger one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he was just talking like, I just want to have, like, a workshop with a bunch of people and, like, actually, like, start bringing a community together, like, in the physical instead of over the digital. And I was like, yeah, that's dope. Like, because he posted about it, and I was like, yeah, I'd definitely go. And then we talked a little bit, and I was like, yeah, So hopefully that goes through. Yeah. And I mean, if that does go through, man, I'll just go there and just talk to as many people.
Well, and I think that, you know, that's the biggest thing about, like, content creation, regardless of what it is, media, whatever you want to call it, is, like, connections are fucking huge. Absolutely huge, because, you know, it could be somebody that you had in the back of your high school classroom that, you know, 10 years down the line, you guys had a good relationship in high school, but they hit you up and they're like, hey, Nico, I need somebody to photograph my wedding, yada, 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 or whatever it is. Or, like, if they make $1 billion company and they're like, I see you doing your thing, can you come over here and help me? It's just, like, dope. Like, it's just those little relationships. Like, that's the thing that I've been learning is, like, you know, be nice to absolutely everyone. Because you never know what somebody could give to you, you know, and especially, like, going to college, you know, just striking up a conversation with somebody is, like, huge, because, like, you guys are both, like, in the same classes, so you guys are probably into the same thing. So it's like, you know, if they go off and they become super successful, they might remember you and be like, hey, Remember when we
let
had
me help
class
you out.
together, and then
Yeah.
they're like, help me out with this or whatever, you know? So like
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. Like, obviously don't go up to somebody and be like, yo,
What
I'm
up?
trying to make some money off of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, let me get in on it. But, you know, just like
Yeah.
go up to them and act like a homie.
Just be a
like,
friend.
Yeah, be
Just
a friend
person.
first, you know? So like that's the biggest thing is like just be
Yeah.
nice to everybody and just act like you care
And
and,
again-
actually genuinely care about somebody and what somebody's
Yeah.
doing. So, you know, just ask questions. That's the biggest thing is
Yeah.
like just ask questions about people's lives. It's crazy how much you can learn about somebody by just asking simple questions.
Yeah, and man, that's one thing I wish I wish I was at a 4-year for, because I feel like the vibe at DMAC is just not that.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of friends though from like
I mean,
school
yeah,
and all
from
that,
high school.
but-
I mean, I definitely talked to people I
Yeah.
knew, but like to talk to someone that's from like Boone, Iowa, or like
Yeah.
Coralville, or like just random, like
Well, I think that
There's just
somebody
really-
that you need to make friends with while you can is fucking the farm kids, bro. Because honest to God,
Are you
like
talking about-
I think that weed's gonna become illegal.
Yeah.
Like
I knew you were
seriously,
gonna-
like
yeah.
I think that's like going to be the next
Yeah.
$1 billion
Oh my
business.
God! To talk about that, so you know how? Okay, so so it was an Uber driver I met in San Diego, and we were just talking,
Yeah.
and he was like, we were talking about the wild, because I was like, yeah, I was in LA, and like the wildfires are bad, and he was like, you know, I have this weird theory that like rich people are making those wildfires happen so they can burn through residential areas. And since they won't want to like rebuild, they'll just move somewhere else. They'll just buy that land. And now that
dirt
weed is
cheap.
legal there, for dirt cheap. And just that's
Damn,
that
that's
was I was
crazy.
like, well, that's a
crazy.
dope theory.
Yeah, but like,
But I mean,
wasn't the last what's it called? Like the last wildfire, wasn't that it took out a lot of rich people's houses, didn't it?
Yeah, but hey, like, isn't it? He was like, another thing that's weird. Isn't it like a weird coincidence that it happens like around the same time of year?
Yeah.
And, like,
Well, and then there's like a bunch of like conspiracy theories. I don't know if you're into that shit.
I am.
But
Yeah.
fuck, that shit intrigues the fuck out of me. But there was like a video. There's this like famous YouTuber that does like conspiracy theories. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he showed this video of this tree burning from the inside.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, how does that work exactly?
That
Like,
works.
So it's like I don't understand. Like it
Yeah.
literally looked like there was like lava.
Like it's glowing.
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
cool.
what the fuck? Like that makes no sense. Like trees are not supposed to do that. So it's like, is the government in on this shit?
Nah.
You know, I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there with that shit, but it kind of. It does worry you a little bit, though. You know,
Yeah,
that,
it's crazy.
What if one day they want Des Moines to just be a fucking crater, and now it's just like, no more Des Moines,
Right.
bye-bye. You know, it's like, it's weird, and I think that hopefully nothing bad ever happens, but, you know, you never know. Shit. It's kind of crazy to think about all that stuff, man. Me and Tobias, he's going to get on the podcast this next week. We were talking about just like aliens and like a bunch of crazy ass shit, bruh. It was dope though, but
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in a lot of that shit, man. I like
Yeah.
to expand my mind and not think of like of dumb stuff, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like don't be like narrow-minded, you know. So I think that, you know, believing in a lot of that stuff, it's like that's cool, man.
I wouldn't say I'm a believer, but I'm not one to be like, nah, that's not true. Like,
Yeah.
have an open mind, but not be so like I'm like, I just know that there is the possibility.
Yeah, because I think that
Yeah.
like you have to think about like what space is,
Yeah.
like how big that shit is, like literally it like the idea of the Big Bang theory and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and
Like,
like
is
that the
space-
universe is expanding,
Like,
and
is space like, is it infinite or is there an end? Because like, there's only so far we can see.
yeah,
Because
seeing like that's the biggest thing too is like
yeah,
you don't either
we
could
don't.
be scary, you know, it's like
is
there
it
really
really-
could be something way out there, but it's like how did we form? It's like
Why
all
did-
that shit's
yeah.
nuts to think about. I love watching like videos about that shit. It intrigues the fuck
I
out
like
of
when
me.
Joe Rogan talks about it.
Oh yeah, I was just
He's
listening to his
comedy.
podcast today too. I was like, oh shit, this shit's got my mind stimulating. He was talking to a guy that won like the Nobel Peace Prize or something like that.
I'm trying to think if I watched a little, because they always break them down in clips. I always like to watch little clips. I remember he was
Yeah.
talking about Elon Musk,
Yeah.
about how it was kind of hard. Like, it was a harder podcast because like when he
Yeah.
got to the place, he was like cool and chill, but when
Yeah.
it started, he got stiff.
Yeah, because he was saying like that he's just so fucking smart.
And then he got him
you don't know
drunk.
what to talk about. Yeah.
He got him drunk, and then they smoked weed, and bro, that's crazy.
They just be vibing. Joe Rogan, shout out to Joe Rogan, man. Biggest podcast in the game.
Oh God.
Hopefully one day I'll be like that, but you know.
What is he at, like 1,300?
Bro, that man is
so many podcasts.
He's been doing it since like 2009.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking insane.
And that's all he does. Like, that's all he has to do.
Yeah, like he's an announcer for the UFC.
Yeah. Bro, you know he did Fear Factor? Like, that was his gig? Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
he's been about that shit, bro. And he's a comedian too.
Yeah, I know.
Comedian, so that's where he started. But, you know, he built it into something big. And that's hopefully one day, you know, I won't have to go to work and be able to do the things that Joe Rogan does on the daily. But, you know, it's cool.
What's some different, like, YouTube channels you've been into lately?
Different.
Like, something you're just like, that's a new thing I've been on.
I'm big into, like, vlogs, bro. But I'm also, like, big into fashion, too. Yeah. So I watch, like, a lot of fashion YouTubers and stuff just because, like, I have a clothing brand and shit. And I like seeing what's hot and shit, you know, and, like, learning about stuff. But I don't know. I've been watching a lot of the Joe Rogan's, like, stuff, too. But
yeah.
I can't. I'm going to have to pull up my app and see, because like it is like, so I do watch a lot of like interesting videos though, because like it's like literally all I watch, and I learn so much about it. And I don't know, I've been looking up like a lot of camera shit, you know, and just learning about that stuff, a lot of vlogs. Damn, bro, I don't know, it's weird, man. YouTube is a weird
this is
thing.
what I've been watching a lot lately.
Or
Unbox Therapy.
Unbox Therapy. Is that like just unboxing like packages?
So
and
like
shit?
this dude named Lou. I think his full name's Louis. You know, he's just a cool guy, and he's just like random stuff. Like some videos he'll do like ridiculous stuff, like stuff I want to be able to afford.
Yeah.
Other stuff he'll be like 3 items under $10, like 3 gadgets. Like it's more techie based.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more tech based, and it'll just be like I bought some wireless headphones that he like talked about, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend $160 on AirPods. Yeah. So he talked about these, and he was like, they're $17. Let's see what it compared to like something like that. And he said they're good. They're not going to be like super like the bass and like the midtones. But I'm like, though. I need that. So I got them, and I have them, and I love them.
Crazy.
And they were literally $17
That's
on Amazon. And like, he just does dope stuff. And like, like, I watched a whole bunch about keyboards. He has a bunch of different ones where he compares keyboards. Like, there's a wooden one made out of glass.
Like, are you talking about, like, typing keyboards?
Yeah, typing keyboards.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's dope, though.
And, like, there was one he unboxed. So, the Jurassic Park movie came out. And then Doritos was, like, a sponsor, and they were doing all this cool stuff. They sent out, there was 100 of them made, a freaking huge Dorito chip. And he unboxed it. It was in an egg, like a dinosaur egg.
Crazy.
He opened it and ate the whole chip.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he didn't keep it. There was only 100 ever.
Wow.
So he ate it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, he has a bunch of dope. He's been around the channel's been around for a while, obviously, because there are like 13 million subscribers.
That's so crazy, like how YouTube works, though.
Yeah, and it's weird because I've never like heard of him until like a month ago, and then I'm just like obsessed with like watching it.
When we were out in LA, we sat next to this dude that was at the event, and I was just talking to him and shit.
Yeah.
And told him about my podcast and shit, and like all this stuff. And like he was originally from Ohio, but he moved out to Los Angeles, and he was doing YouTube. And get this, he has 81,000 subscribers, and he was like in love with what I was doing and shit. And then he tells me that Jake Paul, I think, filmed his wedding. So he's like close friends with both Logan and Jake Paul. And he said that like whenever you're back out in LA, hit me up, and I'd love to do a podcast, like all this shit. And I'm like,
I'm going to LA with you.
It's crazy as fuck, like how that happens.
I gotta go to LA with you, bro.
It's like
dead ass.
Like
I don't
that
care.
little conversation.
Yeah,
we just vibe, and it's like that happens. You know, it's crazy how that happens. But you know, that wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't be just like going up to somebody and just saying, what's up?
Yeah, like,
that's
what
it.
up?
Like that's all it took was just me saying like, hey, how's it going, guys?
What's
like,
up?
where are you guys from?
Yeah.
That's it, and then it took off from there. You know, that LA, that's why, like, I want to be out. I'm a firm advocate on saying, like, I want to make it happen from where I'm at. But, like, after this trip, bro,
I know.
I'm super fucking fired
Here,
up, man.
Here, let me tell you. So I had a conversation with somebody last Wednesday. And he's leaving Iowa in, like, a couple months. And his reason is he thinks Iowa is just limiting his opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, totally same thing.
Yeah.
I totally believe in you. Like, that's why I want to leave low-key.
Yeah.
Like, I love Iowa. I love Des Moines.
Yep.
My bad. Let me rephrase. I love Des Moines.
Yep, absolutely.
But Des Moines, sure, it's growing. It's a great place. It's not L.A. It's not Chicago. It's not New York. It's not... Yeah,
and
it's
I
just...
think that's what I learned by being out there for fucking, like, 4 days is, like, you know, I absolutely love being from Des Moines, and I've told everybody, like, you know, you can make it happen where you're at. And I want to be that. Like, I want to be, like, I made it happen in a town of fucking, I think there's, like, 800,000 people.
5.
Yeah, whatever. It's like there's not that very many people here, and it's like there's like 3 million people in Iowa alone.
Totally,
you know? So it's like I want to make it happen from where I grew up because, you know, it can prove to everybody that's from the city that, you know, you can do it too. But when I was out in LA and I met somebody that, you know, was working with Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and like I saw Michael B. Jordan in a fucking store, it's like whoa. Bruh. And it's like we had a short conversation about shit, and it's like, you know, all these people are so like-minded, and like they're basically like what I'm trying to establish here in Des Moines, but that's like everybody in
it's just
LA.
a juggernaut out
you
there.
know, it's weird how that is, and I think that it is like genuinely like the land of opportunity, and there's so many opportunities that LA can give you that Des Moines just can't. But, you know, I think that I've had this, like, I've been sitting like at home for like the past like 24 hours and just like thinking to myself, I'm like, I have to move out to LA. Like, not for forever, but it's going to happen. And I think that I need to do it I'm going to try it for a year. I think that when I told myself 23, that by 23 I want to move out there for a year, try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think that, you know, I was talking to another podcaster out in LA that I've been watching for forever, and I told him, like, he's about to get like Gary Vee on his fucking podcast and shit. Yeah, and I told him, like, congrats, you know, I'm out in LA currently, like, I hope to get you on my podcast one day and whatever. He hit me back and he was like, whatever, you're out in LA, bro, just hit me up. I'd love to get it done. Let's do it. So dope. You know, it's like all these people, they're so just willing to do shit for you
because they know, like,
because they've been
they were us, but they are now moving up.
Because he was like from Massachusetts or Boston. So it's like, you know, it's crazy like how that town is, and I hope that, you know, I don't like asking people for much or anything.
No.
But, you know, it's like that being out there, it's like, fuck, like you can literally just blow up off of whatever it is, you know. And I think that, you know, I'm not in it for the clout or whatever, but it's like I want to sit down with like some genuinely dope people, and I think that LA, there's a lot of people that are out there. There's a lot of people in Iowa too, and I hope that I can get through as many people as I can before, you know, I decide to go out there. But hopefully by 23, man, that's the goal. That's the goal.
If you want to do before 23, let me know, because I'm trying to go sooner.
Bro, I'm trying to too, but I think that, you know, 23 is like
23 is
the
the latest.
It's like, it's like I want to do it by then because that means I'm graduating college here, and then I'll have like a year's worth of like working at a job, you know. Yeah. And I'm planning on being a pilot, so then I can be based out of everywhere. So that I wanted to be
a pilot.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. That's
Whoa,
yeah.
Time out. Let's talk about that.
You just need to get like a 4-year degree. Like, I think to do it, I want to work for Delta. That's what I do anyway. But yeah, that's why I want to.
What about American?
Bro, America's trash.
Bro, I loved them last time I went through that.
I hear bad things.
Me too,
but I hear bad things about Delta all the time too.
Didn't some like animals die on Delta?
Bro, There's bad shit. I think that
there's some pets.
Some dude, a pilot actually, I just saw it on Twitter. This pilot choked out like a Saudi Arabian guy.
Yeah. Because they were.
That shit was fucked.
Yeah, I saw that.
That shit was fucked. That's bad for business. But I don't know. I really do enjoy Delta personally, but there are obviously bad instances with every fucking company that there is out there. But I think that being a pilot is just something that I've always loved, like playing flying video games and just like flying in general, like traveling. So I think that it was either that or flight attendant for me, and it was like fuck. I think that pilots make a little bit more. So, and I know that I personally really like driving, so I know I like flying.
Oh, you like driving?
Yeah,
oh,
because like I drive like literally everywhere. Shout out to all my friends. I was always the driver. It was cool. But
I hate driving long distance.
Bro, yeah, I don't think I could be like a truck driver or anything, but I plan on driving for Uber once I turn 21.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal.
Damn.
But LA, man.
So you just need a 4-year degree to be a pilot? There's no other way? Could you like do?
You could, but you might have to do like the smaller airlines. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah, see, like that.
That's whack.
I'd rather just and I want to get my 4-year degree anyway, and I actually want to pursue like my doctorate. So like, I just want to be, because like I'm a firm believer in like education is like, it's not needed, but it is something that nobody can ever take that shit away from you.
Do you believe education is the great equalizer still in today's society?
I think that in today's society, no. I don't think that everybody needs to go to college. There's a lot of successful people that have not gone to college or dropped out of high school even.
Let's even say not even from that standpoint. Look at it the other way. Where is it the great equalizer for people like us to compete with other people who are so far ahead?
I think that I look at it from two perspectives, right? So I personally don't think that you need a degree, but there are a majority of people that look at your credentials, and that's the thing that they like judge you off of. So that's why I want to get a degree, is because I want people to take me seriously, and I think that having that fucking piece of paper, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Like the college industry, like everything about it.
It's such a broken system.
But it's like that's until I think that our kids are born and shit. Yeah, I don't think that it's gonna change until then. But I think that that'll be a different story. But right now, I think that we're at the forefront of that changing a lot. But I think that there is still a lot of value in that piece of paper.
I think
being like a, I don't know what it is.
I think that piece of paper lets other people you're gonna like do work with or work for know that you're still willing to learn.
Yeah, that's literally what getting a degree is. It's showing your work ethic.
Like you're still willing to grow.
That. Yeah. So that's literally all that piece of paper is, because there's a lot of people that I watch, like a lot of those videos of like people, like those question interviews videos, like that people go out on the street with a microphone, they're like asking people questions and shit. We watched one in class, and they said like, what's your degree in? And they said like something like absurd as fuck, like not like neuroscientist, but like something like very specific, like a psychology major or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, like that's dope, but like you can't really translate that to a lot of careers. So that's why I decided like English. Everybody needs a fucking writer. Yeah, everybody needs a writer. Every business does. I could be a teacher if I wanted to. I could be a professor. Like, there's so many things. I could work for a media company. Like, I could do so many things with that. And being a pilot, it's just like I have to have a degree. So why not get something that I think about the degree as like a tree, and these, like, all my fingers are just like branches of the tree.
I like that.
So it's like you can go off and do this job if you wanted to. That doesn't work. Go off and do this, all with the same degree, versus like me going back to school. Like there's a lot of people that go back to school, and that's like, fuck, like why are you doing that? But no joke to anybody that does that, but it's like
that's a lot of money.
You need to do it the right way the first time around. Because there's a lot of people that they go to school and they're like, oh shit, I'm like 3 years in with my psychology degree. I don't want to be a fucking psychologist anymore. But what am I gonna do? Change my major?
And I think what's wrong with that. When people are in that situation, I think, there's such a bad stigma right now to where you can't change. Like, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And, like, no, like, you should be able to just switch it the fuck up because you feel differently now.
And I think
you are different.
That's the thing that's flawed about the college system is because a lot of those people that I was watching in those interviews, they felt stuck, like, on their 4th year, 3rd year, and they were like, yeah, this isn't me, but I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, and it's not even just pressure from, like, the college. It's pressure from your peers, your parents, like, everyone, like, there seeing you. Because, like, let's talk about me. Like, when I was at Grandview, I could have been like, oh, I've already made this decision. People are have expectations for me to go here, play football, do this. And for some, I don't know why when I was 18, even thought, like, it was okay to do what I did, because I think most other people would have stuck it out. Yeah. And I think even, let's say, next year, because we'll be 3 years in, I'm like, fuck photography. I don't like this no more. Yeah. I'll switch it up.
That's the thing that's fucked, but, you know, I think that for me personally, I feel like I played college, like, pretty well for, you know, being 20 years old. Like, when I was going into college, literally my first semester, wanted to be a teacher, wanted to be an English teacher specifically, and, you know, I took a teaching class my first semester. So it was called Exploring Teaching. So what I was doing was I was literally basically like a teacher at that point. I was writing lessons plans. I was going to other teachers' classrooms, and like so I went back to my high school and like watched them and like observed them. I didn't like run a lesson there. I wasn't like a student teacher or anything, but I learned what it's like to like observe a teacher and all that shit. And then I actually taught a lesson to my entire class. Like, it was a lot of shit, but it was like, you know, I figured out after my first semester, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if teaching's for me. And then like, you know, I've been trying to do like video work and like stuff and like photography for the school that I went to previously. And it's like, you know, I think that I can still have like, I can still be in the school and I can still teach kids, because I'd love to teach kids, you know. And I think that's why I created the podcast too, is because like I want people to take away stuff, because like I feel like I've learned a lot and I want to like share that back out with the world, you know what I mean? So, you know, I think that that's what I wanted out of being a teacher. But, you know, I think that being a teacher, it's like limiting, because it's like I can't touch as many things in the world now. So, you know, and especially being a teacher, I feel like you're limited a lot. Yeah. You're limited to, like, you have to talk a certain way, you have to do all that. I'm like, fuck that. I want to be myself, and I want to teach others, like, that they can be whoever they want to be, you know? And I think that it sucks that I feel like our high schools were very open about everything. I love our high school. But there are some, like, principals or whatever, like, school districts that are just not for that shit. Like, they don't want you to touch on certain topics. And I'm, like, totally opposite of that. I'm like, if this is happening in the world, I want to fucking talk about it, because I don't want people to be like these fucked up people that you see in the news. That's not going to happen for me. And, like, I don't want any of the students that I would have or whatever to end up like these lowlifes. You know, that's something that I don't want to happen. But, you know, I think that having a podcast, it's like I can reach as many people. Just like a big classroom.
That's with the limitless students that could listen or watch.
You know, and I think that that's what I feel like I've been put on this earth to do, you know, is just to teach people right from wrong, you know, and just to be a good person overall. So, you know, that's kind of the goal. But getting into some of the closing questions here for you, brother. It's almost like 4 o'clock.
How long have we been doing this?
Hour and 14 minutes currently. Yeah,
it does not feel like it.
We're going to wrap it up, but it's cool, man, because I think that shit's dope. I've been doing a lot of longer podcasts too. Because it's like, you know,
our last one was long too. It was like an hour or something.
Yeah. I just did one with Julio, and it was like an hour 30.
Yeah.
My camera's almost died and shit. But this one, I think it's at 2%. I don't know about this one.
You can't even see.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But tell me about future plans that you got. Other than Iowa ports. Is there anything else that you got going on? Future vacations or
going to Colorado in May with some buddies.
What you doing there?
Just seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking.
Dope, brother.
Going to Chicago probably during spring break for a couple days. I have family.
Yeah.
And I just it's a vibe.
I wasn't too sure if you had family there. Or what.
Yeah, they live in the suburbs, so I just take the train downtown.
What suburb is it?
Hoffman Estates? Is that what it is? It's either that or another one I can't remember right now. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Anything else you got going on?
What up? What's up, everybody? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, school will be finishing up.
Yeah.
Finally be done. Make big decisions. Maybe continue education. Maybe just move.
2 years and be done.
I don't know how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same boat, bro. I think that, if, say, the podcast, blows up by the time, fucking May rolls around and I've got my 2-year degree, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's the thing is, I'm not trying to limit it myself, I want to get my 4-year degree regardless of what I'm doing, but, I'm planning on going to Iowa State next year. I've got all my ducks in a row, but, it's not all set in stone at this point, because I think that I'm a firm believer, your life could literally change tomorrow, so it's I'm open to the roller coaster regardless of what it is,
Yeah.
So, and that's why, I told myself, 23, I can move out to LA. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
It's not, I want to put it out in the universe because that's what I want at this very moment in time. But, I think that just go with the flow. That's kind of what I've been trying to do. And I think that you're kind of in the same boat too, just going with it. Living life, that's the best thing that you can do. But last question for you, brother. What is the next step for you as a photographer / creative?
I think
You feel like Iowa Reports is like that, and you just want to build it into something?
I think Iowa Reports will just, if it does, there's so many different avenues.
Yeah.
And hopefully, let's say even in a year, maybe even start building a team.
Yeah.
Maybe start paying people.
Yeah.
Maybe actually have to go pay actual taxes if I start making money off of it.
Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. But I don't know. That's something that I've kind of wanted to get into too, is creating a creative collective type thing,
And I mean, it could be so much more, like I said, more than just Iowa photographers. It could be, man, we can just talk about we can just say Iowa creatives in general.
And I think that, it's good that we have a core group of friends type shit. And I think that people are afraid of signing into something. And I think that that's the worst thing that's in that Des Moines state of mind is they don't want to commit to something. And I understand that because I want to consider myself a freelancer. I want to go on my own schedule, But, there are some times where, it's good to have a group. And it's good to be a part of a group because,
there's so much you can learn or so much you can give.
And it's that's what I've learned about, the podcast is, doing this generic growth. It's I can only do so much by myself.
Exactly.
But if I tap into this person's followers, this person's followers, this person's followers, it's if they fuck with the questions that I'm asking and the person that I am, they're going to come over and support me too. So, that never would have happened if I wouldn't have had an interview with somebody, So, I don't know. I think that I still want to have, I still want to have, my weekly, solo podcasts and stuff. And just chill and talk about certain situations going on in the world. But, I think that for the growth standpoint, it's, it's the best when I have a guest on because it's, they want to tune in and hear why I'm interviewing them, why I'm interviewing you, and it's that just drives a genuine interest. And then if they like me, then they like me, and they stick around for future podcasts too. So I think that's the biggest thing is that people are afraid to just let things grow where they need to, and I think that's what's going to hold Des Moines back until that changes. Because I hope that it does. Because I think that people are slowly starting to realize that that if you share the wealth and you share the sugar, it's more than likely it's going to come back to you. In a while. So that's the biggest thing, and that's what I would advise anybody to do is don't limit yourself to only being about you. Go out, make those genuine connections, like I said earlier, and just be a genuinely nice person to absolutely everybody that you come encounter with, because you never know what that person could bring into your life. It's with relationships, that's with friendships. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, there's this idea of like, if somebody has never experienced falling in love, you can't explain it to them.
Yeah.
Because they haven't met that person that makes them fall in love. So, you know, it takes another person to evoke those feelings out of you, and you can't explain that to somebody if they've never felt it.
It's just that those experiences.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that it can be translated into other things like business and everything. You know, you have to be willing to let anybody on, because you never know, regardless like of their followers, whatever that bullshit, like just regardless of who they are, you know, they can bring in somebody that can change your life.
Exactly.
You know, just off of that connection.
Yeah.
So, you know,
and I think the only other future plans I could even talk about, hopefully just put in some YouTube videos out.
I think that's good too, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good little push, you know. I want to make more short films. That's kind of a goal for me. But
that's it, I think.
Good shit, brother. Good shit. Anthony, appreciate you, brother, for stopping by today and getting on the podcast again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for another episode of today's podcast. Hope you guys got some nuggets and stuff, man. I'm trying to keep these podcasts like long, short. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest.
Maybe you just start cutting them up.
Yeah.
Make one big one and start cutting them up.
Clips too.
Yeah. You should start doing that.
But
ooh,
I don't know.
That's more views. That's more views.
Podcasts are like all like over the place, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but like, that's why you cut them up.
Yeah.
Certain topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, because I want to
do it.
I'm like so sick of editing these motherfuckers. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but one day I'm going to sell out and get a fucking editor, bro, because this shit is nuts, doing it on a weekly basis.
Follow me on socials.
Yeah. Where can everybody find you, Anthony?
Instagram, a.a.media, and Anthony W. Arroyo. Also Twitter, Anthony W. Arroyo. YouTube, Anthony Arroyo. Yeah, that's it for right now.
That's it.
Follow Iowa Ports.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, but I think that I need to get into like a social media manager or something here soon, to be honest. Because, bro, when I did the podcast with UVT, that shit was fucking nuts. Like, I've never felt like overwhelmed by social media before. That was the first instance where, like, because I'm very genuine when it comes to that shit, you know, and I'm like always trying to like respond to everybody, you know, because that's who I am.
That's the only thing you need on, though.
And it's like, fuck, I had things blowing up here, and I was like, oh shit, like this is dope. Yeah, but it's like I need somebody to run this shit. It's overwhelming at this point.
That's really, I mean, just for me, I just turn off the likes and retweets, everything else except for just replies.
Yeah,
because that's the only thing I need to see.
I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
That shit will for real get you, especially when something blows up.
Man. Yeah.
Because you'll just be on your phone like, oh.
Well, I'm still gonna keep going about my shit. But,
yeah.
You know, it's cool. It's cool. But.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to today's podcast, man. Hope you guys got some little nuggets from stuff, and you know, hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. That's really all that I have to talk about. Make sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Truth Podcast. My name is Neek Robinson. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're out. Peace.
Peace. Life Water sponsor Neek.
Oh my God, Life Water. Hit me up. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.
All right.